Hello my little angels, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alexxx and today we're going to be talking about Flowers in the Attic by VC Andrews. Alright, making sure I said her name right. So first of all, we're going to talk about her astrology chart. She is a Gemini sun with her moon in Pisces and Aquarius rising. Aquarius. But no. This is the first time I read her stuff, Flowers in the Attic. It was recommended to me through another booktuber. I'm not a booktuber. You know what I mean, but somebody who's I watched who talked about books, specifically only about books. But anyways, her writing is so beautiful. I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, don't say that. One guy that I watched make a review on it after I finished the audiobook was like, he was like kind of talking bad about her prose. And I was like, and also a couple of people didn't like the, what you call it, dialogue between characters, you know, when they're talking to each other. Which I did like. So I did like it. I think her writing definitely had a little bit of fantasy. She has because her moon is in Pisces. I feel like she definitely has that innocence in the writing, and also the betrayal and the trickery is in there. Let's talk about the characters. The mother's name was Corinne, which is a disgusting name, so it's very fitting. Not because she was disgusting, but because she's a disgusting person. I think the father was Christopher, just like the son, the oldest son, which we called Chris in the book. And the oldest daughter's name was Kathy, for Catherine. And then there was two twins that were super annoying. Corey and... what was that little girl's twin? Carrie and Corey. So, okay, they all have C names. That's interesting. Okay. But yeah, the twins were the most annoying part to me because they were... I guess I could say they were spoiled. They were not parented. They pretty much complained a lot throughout the whole book. Till the end, then they kind of got a little bit traumatized by violence. So yeah, there should be a trigger warning for this. I also don't like when people read a book that they know has specific triggering themes and then they hate on that. Like they're just like, oh my god, how could they incest, ill. Learn about history, read about history, read more about history, because there's so much incest. There's so much more that was more like disturbing than this. This was not disturbing when it came to the incest for me, but the betrayal of the mother for me was the most angering, triggering for me. I don't know. We'll get to it. We'll get to all of that. But yeah, those are the main characters, the children and the mother. Because right off the bat, as soon as we start, we see this lovely family. They have a wonderful, wonderful family. Christopher is a beautiful tall man, the father. He has beautiful curly hair. He loves his wife. He's very loving to his children in a perfectly normal way. Which I don't like how other people were criticizing how close they were, which was like, parents can kiss their children if they want to. There was no tongue kissing or anything inappropriate like that, but there was like pecking on the lips, which I'm a parent and that's normal for me. Of course there would be times where it would not be appropriate, like if you're dirty, if your mouth is dirty, or if you have anything that could be contagious to your child. But other than that, I don't see anything wrong with being loving and nurturing. And if your child wants that type of attention from the parent, then they should be able to get it. That type of love and attention. Hugs and kisses and stuff like that. So yeah, the father was very loving in a normal, non-weird type of way. And the mother is superficial. From the start, we know that she is very superficial, and she just gets worse and worse throughout the book with her narcissistic tendencies definitely arise and show more in this character, Corinne. And that was it just made me so angry. I really didn't like her. But yeah, right off the bat, we lose the father, unfortunately, and he was the backbone to this family, because after he passes away in a car accident, everything goes to shit. Bless you. But yeah, that was so hard. Like right off the bat, I was in tears. That's how good of a writer she is. The way she wrote that scene of the cops telling the family that on his birthday of all days that the father had passed away and he'd been killed by a drunk driver, I think. Oh my god, that was so fucking sad. That was so tragic. I cried multiple times throughout this book. She did an amazing job. She really like just hit me with all the feelings. Maybe because I'm a parent, so it was just very like, I also had a hard childhood, like a traumatic childhood, but still like her writing was just so believable, relatable. You just felt that it was a real situation that was happening, you know, the way she wrote it. A lot of people love it. I saw a lot of reviews on Audible saying how beautiful it is before I started reading it, without going into too many spoilers because I already knew some of it. But yeah, her writing is really, really something. It's not for everybody, obviously, but it will probably make you cry. So yeah, I think just seeing, because I saw how loving and like happy they were. So when he passed away so like suddenly on his birthday, I was shocked. That was surprising how quickly that went downhill. And anyway, so the mother, she has rich parents and they disowned her. They removed her from their will because she kind of broke their rules. They are very religious, which they're kind of like in a cult. You know, when you're choosing religion over your own children and your own family, that's saying something to me, that something's wrong here, something is not right with you and your beliefs. But anyway, so she takes her children to her parents even though they don't know about them. I think the mother does, but the father does not. And the reason that she was disowned and kicked out was because Christopher, the father of the children, is her half uncle. So he's related to her dad. They have the same dad, but different mothers. Okay. And Corinne's father stole the money that was supposed to be Christopher's from him and his mother. When his mother dies of breast cancer, they take Christopher in, and that's how he met Corinne, and that's how they fell in love when she was, I think she was 15 or 14 and he was 17. Yeah, and like soon after that they run off and elope. And so yeah, that did not sit well with them. And then later on we find out through the grandmother, who is a witch, a horrible person, that the grandfather had a heart attack because of this betrayal by his daughter. And according to Corinne, her father never wanted her to marry. He like always wanted her with him, which was kind of weird to me, like suspicious. And Corinne is supposed to be, like, she's described as being very beautiful. Excuse me. She's described as being very beautiful. Even her daughter Catherine sees it in her, and her son Chris loves her and sees her as the most beautiful, most perfect person in the world. The twins, they love her. And anyway, she takes them to their home where they're going to be hidden in an upstairs bedroom that is connected to an attic. And the mother lies to them pretty much and tells them that it will only be for a few days, and then for a few weeks, and then for a few months, as she begins to get really nice fancy clothing and jewelry and hides her children from her father. But the mother, obviously their grandmother, knows about them and she hates them. She absolutely hates them, which was heartbreaking and relatable for me. It made me so angry. The whole situation made me so angry, and I had to keep reminding myself that it wasn't real. It's not real. It's not really happening. I hope. Because yeah, that was very triggering. So yeah, she calls them abominations. She says they're gonna sin. They're sinners. Specifically Chris and Kathy. So they are set up to fail. They are forced to take care of the children, the little ones. I think they're like 4 or 5 when they get to the attic or the bedroom, their prison. The twins are very young. And I think Catherine was 12 or 13 when they get there, and Chris about 14 or 15, roughly. Anyway. So yeah, they are forced to become like their guardians, which was very unfair. I did not like that at all, because they're children too. Teenagers are children to me. So yeah, it was just a lot. I really didn't like the mother, like right away. I just didn't like her. As soon as she lied to them about being there for 3 days, I was against her. I did not like her, even though the children loved her. Even after months, they kept asking, you know, oh, because she promised them that as soon as her father, their grandfather, died, that they would be able to come down and enjoy all the riches of the money that she was gonna get, because she planned to get back on the will to get everything from her father. So she was pretty much gonna kiss ass and take the whippings and take the lashings, which the grandmother does lash and whip Corinne, the mother, and then she shows it to the children to threaten them, which was abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. She kicks the twins and nobody does anything about it. Like, the mother was there and does nothing. So we hate her. Right away we hate her. We want to choke her to death. But oh, so triggering. So anyways, yeah, Chris and Catherine are set up to fail, pretty much. Being stuck up there for over 3 years. Yeah, this goes on for over 3 years. And the reason this is called Flowers in the Attic, I think not only do the children represent flowers that are wilting away slowly in this prison, they also decorate the attic and they make it beautiful for the twins, because they really want to go outside. They really want to outside. So yeah, they make paper flowers and all this stuff, and it's so sad because Catherine has talents. She's a ballerina, she's a really good dancer, and Chris has talents. He wants to be a doctor like his father wanted him to be, and he's a really good painter. He's an artist too. And the little boy is also really good with music. And the only one who I don't remember having a talent or anything besides whining was the little twin, the little girl twin. Yeah, I don't remember what she did. Did she have a talent? 'Cause I don't remember. I don't remember having it. I'm looking at myself like trying to remember. Did she have a talent? Did she have something that she was like good at that brought her joy? I don't know, she just liked to talk a lot and complains a lot, and slowly they wilt away, unfortunately. Oh, it's so tragic now that I'm remembering what happens to the twins. So yeah, every morning the grandmother brings up a basket of their meals, the 3 meals they are to share throughout the day. And the grandmother is very jealous of Catherine, the young teenager. She becomes a teenager in this place, and then a woman when she loses her virginity to her brother. But yeah, the grandmother is a horrible person. The brother, he's dealing with his own hormones, and he does a mistake by raping her, kinda I say, because Catherine, I feel like she kind of wanted to know what it was like as well. It's very complicated, but she kisses her stepfather. The mother remarries, by the way, which is not a surprise. She remarries a younger man after she gets her father's money, and the children are still locked in the attic. Nobody knows about them except the grandmother, which, oh my god, you know, it was just so traumatic. That story is very traumatic and beautifully written in some parts, a lot of parts. The children are very smart because they read a lot. Okay, so I think that's why they have a lot of interesting dialogue. They are not normal, like atypical, like tablet children that we have nowadays. They were like, I forgot what year this takes place in, but it's back in the days, okay? Like, no internet. So yeah, they read a lot. They're very smart. The 2 older ones, Catherine and Chris. But let's go back to the rape scene. I did see that a couple of people were very triggered by this rape scene because of how Catherine takes some accountability for her part in this. The way it goes down is because Christopher gets jealous and he sees his sister as something he wants to own. I think that's a very male, masculine thing to want to own, to be territorial, you know, especially since they have been forced into this messed up situation of having to be parents pretty much to their siblings. So it's kind of blurred the lines, okay? And I feel like it's the mother's fault and the grandmother's fault as well for telling them that they would do this. It's like she kind of manifested it into happening, because the children, I don't blame Chris. I don't blame Catherine either. I blame the grandmother. I blame the mother. The ones who knew that the kids were up here in an unhealthy environment. As a twin, they're all wilting away, withering away. Yeah, they're dying slowly, pretty much. Not just on the outside, but on the inside, they're becoming very disturbed. And I feel like it was bound to happen, okay? Because the grandmother kept telling them that they would sin, and, you know, words manifest. So it only happens one time, but they do not plan on doing it again. It's not like, the way that people talked about it was like, this is something that's gonna keep happening and occurring, but it was just kind of like a mistake, like a one-time animalistic type of mistake, like vibrating from an animal part of our brain. What's it called? The reptilian side of our brain. But yeah, I don't blame either Chris or Catherine. Like I said, it's hard to blame children for this type of behavior when it's, I think I said enough. I think they were pretty much trapped into doing things that were not supposed to be their responsibility. So yeah, I hope that Catherine doesn't get pregnant, but they didn't make it seem like she would get pregnant by the end of this. I don't think I want to read on anymore. I know there's like a few other books that she wrote where they follow this group of children after they escape. But before they escape, we find out that the mother had been lying to them. The grandfather had passed away like about a year before they started getting out of the room with the key that Chris carved out of soap. Or I don't know, he used soap to get like the shape of it. I don't know, I didn't understand that all that well, like how, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so she was lying. She was never gonna tell her new husband about them, because in the will it said that if she was ever to have be found out that she had children with her half uncle or with her new husband, that she would have to give back everything, pretty much all the money. And that's all she ever cared about. That's all she ever wanted. That's why she went back to their house, knowing how horrible and controlling they are, her parents. And she still took her children there. So I completely blame her more than anyone else in this story. She is a villain. On top of that, which was unbelievable, that she actually poisoned the children. I don't know how Chris hears all of this. I feel like this was a little bit unbelieving. Like I found it hard to believe that people who work for them in this house would know so much about the will, how they were poisoned, and that there were rats being poisoned. So nobody knew that there was children up here. They thought it was for rats. So the mother pretty much puts poison in donuts. And I don't remember at what time, maybe like after 2 years or something, they started being poisoned by donuts. Anyway, unfortunately, the little boy, the little twin, is the one who ate most of the donuts. So he got very sick and passed away in this story. That was very hard. I think it's because I'm a parent. So it was just like, it was like very like triggering for me. I cried multiple times during the story. That is why I probably would not read it anymore. I think she did a great job, but it was just too dark, too sad, not dark, but too sad, with not enough hope in it for me to keep going, because they don't even get revenge by the end of this, which was something that I did not like, because personally I feel like they should have burned the house down. I feel like there needed to be something that happened, and maybe later on in the books there will be some type of justice, revenge, but like for me, I feel like no, I didn't like that. I didn't like the way the mother got away with it. She moved away. They didn't get to take enough from her. They didn't get the chance to get even Stevens with her or the grandmother. So that for that reason I would not read on, because I didn't like that. I did not like that at all. I don't know what VC Andrews was thinking with that ending, but I did not like that ending, like at all. Like they get the chance to report them because they find out that the donuts are being poisoned. They have the donuts. They have a dead mouse that they tested it on. I think it was anthrax or something like that, in the sugary donuts. And they just throw it away. I didn't like that. I feel like they should have just burned down the whole house. I don't care. Like, the grandmother whipped them, ruined Kathy's hair, killed their youngest brother because she brought the food up. There's no way I'm leaving without taking something from you. Like, there's no way. There's just no way. No. I can't. Those poor children, they suffered for over 3 years and only got a few $100s that they had to steal to get the freak out of there so they could escape. And like I said, there was really no break in the story to like get out of that sadness for me. There was beautiful writing. There was, of course, their talents, which they enjoyed and brought them joy and stuff like that. And they loved each other. They were there for each other, the children. But other than that, I feel like, oh, it was so hard. It was too much sadness to keep going for me. Because of how it ended, I would not even keep reading. Because there was just no justice. I didn't like how easy they let it go. Like Chris, he was just like, okay, let's just move on. That I didn't like. Like, let's just keep going because we lost enough time. Yeah, but who made you lose that time? Because I don't know, like there is one part in the book where they do get out, the older ones, Catherine and Chris, they go out and they swim in a lake or a river, whatever, that their mother told them about when she was younger they would go swimming at. And yeah, that was nice, I guess. They get to play, they laugh a little bit, but Chris is moody still, kind of still defending his mother, which I didn't like either, how long he stood by his mother. And I felt like Kathy was kind of jealous of that relationship too, because, you know, he's like choosing his mother even though she's the one who's taking care of the twins. She's the one who's there trying to have a life with him, this weird life, this twisted life, but it's still like she's still there taking care of them, like feeding them, like being the mother pretty much. And yeah, so that was not fair. How long it took Chris, the older one, I think he almost turned 18 by the end of the story, so he's still very young. 18 is still very young, like a child. His brain is not fully developed anyway, so even though he saw himself as a man, I did not. I did not, because he should have done more to get them out of there. I feel like he was stronger. He could have taken the twins down one at a time, and then Catherine, she could have taken herself down from there, because with the rope, they had a rope that they climbed out to go swimming. They could have used that. I don't know, there were just so many lost opportunities to end the suffering, you know, and then to not get justice. I mean, I did get it. I'll explain really quickly. I know this has gone on long enough, but the reason they don't tell and they don't take the little bag of donuts with poison to the cops is because they're still underage, 17 and 15, I think. And then they have the little girl as well, and she's very depressed. She's not speaking at this time because her brother passed away. They didn't get to go to the funeral. That little girl hasn't been out of the attic till they get her out of there. And they don't want to be separated. I think that's the main point. They grew so close, so attached, that they do not want to be separated. So they just throw away the evidence. And yeah, because I feel like if they were put in an orphanage, they could be adopted separately. They don't, but they could have also stayed together. They could have chosen to stay together. Chris could have waited for them after he got cycled out, because he was like maybe a couple months from being 18, and I feel like he could have taken care of them, maybe. I don't know. It was complicated. But yeah, I just feel like they did not want to be separated, and that's why they did not tell. But they could have still done something themselves. So I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. I think I've said too much. I've said already enough. But yeah, I'm not gonna keep reading this story. I feel like it's too sad for me. It's too... ooh, like la la la. Like, no, like I needed justice. She's a beautiful writer though. I would recommend this story, especially if you don't have children, because I feel like if you do, it's gonna be hard to get through this book. There's not a lot of inappropriate stuff that goes on, so I was not triggered at all. She does it in a very minimal way, even the rape scene. Okay, so there's another instance that happens before then. I know I said I was gonna stop, but they do go shirtless. They do shower together, not in the same tub, but in the same bathroom where they see each other naked and stuff like that. Chris kisses her chest as well in one scene when they're in the attic alone. He also stabs her with scissors by accident, which that annoyed me, because why the fuck are you running with scissors? But he was just trying to play with her and have fun or something. But other than that, yeah, there's nothing really. It's not a bunch of fucking going on like like people make it seem when they're so triggered for like why. I don't know. As long as they don't have children, I feel like it's fine. But that's just me. I don't think incest is all that bad, which I know I might get some people think what, but like, yeah, go read about history, because we're all incest. If you really think about it, we're all related. So yeah, but let's not even get to that, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The story is fiction, you know, and people can do whatever they want as long as they're grown-ups and they're not hurting anybody else. I don't really care. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you thought about this book, and if you would keep reading on to the next one, because you're a brave soul if you would. I feel like it's just not enough light for me. I need a balance. I like intense stories, but this was just like not fair and not enough balance for me. And I needed to see the mother dead. Like, I haven't seen any of the movies, but I heard that in one of the movies she does get thrown off a roof or something, which was great. But yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, I have to rate it. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, this is hard. I think I would give it a 4. I know, it's pretty high, because I could not stop listening to the story. It was so interesting. It was super interesting, by the way. I wanted to see what was gonna happen next. BC Andrews was very creative. Oh my gosh, imagine having your character stuck in a room for like 3+ years, and wow, she just did really well. She was entertaining for sure. She did what she set out to do. I think she did this for entertainment and not to teach any moral lessons. So I was entertained, but I also cried too much. So I feel like that's why I will not read it again. But because I got emotionally involved and invested, I'm gonna give it a 4. I think it deserves it out of 5. If it had revenge at the end, the vengeance that I wanted, it would have been a 5 probably, or 4.5. Because the twins were annoying, even though I feel bad for them. They were still kind of annoying in the story. Maybe it was the voice actress. She was very like very childlike, which was great, but annoying. Like, she was like, her high-pitched voice was so annoying to me. Just like my voice annoys me when I watch this back and I get too high-pitched. Oh, I hate it. But so yeah, it's nothing personal. I don't like my own voice either a lot of the time. So okay, yeah, 4. A 4 is very fair for me, because it landed for me. It landed hard in my eyes. It punched me in my face, and then I cried like 4 times. But yeah, she's a great writer. Just not enough justice, not enough balance for me with the good and the bad, you know. Let me know what you thought though in the comments, and thank you so much for watching this long ass video. Be sure to check out my eBay and my Poshmark, which are linked down below. Also my, what's it called, PayPal. If you want to leave a little donation, I would appreciate it so much. Thank you. Also give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see more, and yeah, later.